Good morning, everybody. This is Oliver Joyce from Whiskeybarrel Studios, and September has rolled around, meaning we're about 6 months into proper development of Swords and Sandals Immortals. Hard to believe, it really is. I just, how quickly the time flies when you're having fun. I still sometimes feel like I'm at the start of this project. It doesn't really feel like, I've been working on it for half a year. But then suddenly I'll open up the game and go, oh yeah, there's actually something quite playable here. And speaking of playable, that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to show you guys at last, you've seen it in the trailer, but I'll show you off a little of the combat gameplay. We'll just load up a few battles and I'll just show you the very basics of how combat work. Now, please bear in mind, as always, that this is very much a work in progress. A lot of the abilities and skills and talents and so on aren't in there yet. Tons of tweaking to do. Some of the animations are still quite rough. The usual caveats. But this should give you a nice taste of the final product, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's just jump in. Let's just fire up a random combat and see what we can see. Okay, so that's your little game introduction right there. You get the logo spinning in, and our announcer, our automaton announcer, who sort of makes a few comments throughout the fight and so on. I've only just started recording his voice, but you'll probably get a few sort of critical hit, that kind of thing in the game. Now, first thing I want you to notice here is that the gladiators have no clothes on at all. And I'm still working on the combat stance, because I know a lot of people sort of said, hey, we didn't like the old combat stance, so I've changed the animation for that just yesterday afternoon, actually. So it's still a little bit buggy. His legs are a little bit too high, and it sort of cuts off a bit there. You don't really notice it when they're wearing armor, but you notice it when they have no armor, so I'll be tweaking that even more. I'm going to show you another battle after this that shows armor and all that kind of stuff. Here is your battle buttons. When you roll over them, you can see a little highlight. That little 1 in the potion shows you how much essence it's going to use. That's your total essence. That's your total health. That little black area there is how much armor you have. Because it's all completely black, you have no armor. There's our character up there. Your level, your alignment, both good at the moment, and your power score, which if you've played previous Swords and Sandals games, it's a sort of a number that tallies up your stats and your armor and your abilities and everything. Just shows you how powerful you are against other gladiators. And of course, we have a use item button and a use skill button and a rest, and some rocking music in the background. Using item, some potions there which I've debugged into the game. Skills, throw weapon, switch weapon. These are some debug skills. You won't have those straight away to begin with. For now, you can rest, but what we'll do is we'll walk forward. He switched to a bow, which was a fearful choice. So what we're going to do is each different attack. Attacking the head is 40% chance, torso 50%, arm 60, legs 70. This is replacing the power, medium, and quick attacks. But these have different strategic benefits. So what we'll do is we'll attack his legs for now. Okay, critical hit on his leg. We got lucky really on. Because he had no armor, when you do hits on him and you get a critical hit, you will knock off an armor leg. And I might have even turned the critical hit up while I'm testing. What we'll do is we'll have a little rest and we'll see if he tries to move towards us. No. Oh, he got us! He hit us with a bow. Okay. We were defeated in our first combat because we only had 10 hit points. Okay, that was pretty embarrassing. Now you can see from that combat, things can be over very quickly when you're low level and you don't have any armor. Thankfully, you'll be given a bit of gold at the beginning to go and buy a weapon or some armor and that kind of thing. And I'm going to be playing around with the critical hits and so on. But if you don't have any armor and your legs get hit, bam, chances are you'll lose a leg. You can still keep fighting as long as you've got enough health, but your movement will be slowed down and your jump won't be very high. Same with an arm. If you lose an arm, you might lose your weapon arm or your shield arm. If you lose your head, all over, just like Highlander. Same with your torso as well. So those are the big ones to go for. But torsos tend to be very well armored with stronger breastplates and that kind of thing. All right, let's jump into another randomly generated battle. But this time I've turned on the armor so we can see sort of armor hits and that kind of thing.
Prepare to fight.
All right, got another battle going on now, and this, you can see they're both fully armored. Actually, they're wearing the same armor, so that should be interesting. Same amount of health. He's got more essence than us, and we've got a shank as well. Now, you will probably notice that I've moved the shield up along his forearm because some of the Discord users pointed that out, that it should be up there, which made a lot more sense rather than just leaving a little hand shield. So I've moved all shields up there, and that also frees up the hand for dual wielding. You can't dual wield with a shield and a weapon, but yeah, you know what I mean. All right, move forward. Oh, he's broken our breastplate already, so let's go for his legs. I'll go his arms, see if we can. Good. We've broken his arm guard. Now you can see up here it's orange. That means the armor is damaged. Switch to a bow. It's like the last coward. We'll jump towards him. Easy to jump. Press jump and then just swipe in the direction you want. So jump back. So we've broken our shoulder guard. We can use an item now. Let's use a health potion. Large healing potion. If you're close enough with a potion, you can actually hit them in the face with it. It's kind of fun. Let's try throwing our weapon. We broke his cape. Cut it off. Okay, he's going to be trying to hit the bow, which is not good. See if we can get close enough and force him to... he's going to flee. The AI is really basic at the moment, but still deadly. So, you know, if they're behind, they'll attack us with a bow. I can't believe I've lost 2 battles in a row with a bow. We're going to try that again. Yeah, as I said, I really want to stress that this is very much work in progress gameplay. So things that don't look, quite right to you or don't look that polished and everything, rest assured, we've got a long way to go on this. But I'm really happy with where it's going right now. And even the unrefined combat, such as it is, with very, very, very basic AI, there's probably like 8 lines of code for the AI. You know, if you're close, do one of 4 things. If you're not close, walk backwards and fire your bow, random chance of switching the weapon, that kind of thing. But, you know, there is a lot of fun to be had already. Should we do another battle? I think we should. Let's do it. All right. So here we're fighting in a canyon, and you can see a heat shimmer there, which is a really cool effect, a shader that I've put on the game. And there's lots of different sort of weather effects that will impact the battle. Not in there yet. I also want to point out this little gem up the top here. This isn't implemented in the game yet, but this is going to be a meter that affects your performance in battle. So the more you get hit, the more it slides that way. The more you hit other people, the more it slides that way. You'll actually get benefits from it being in this direction, and you'll get benefits for being in that direction. So the more you're hurt, the more chance that you'll sort of lash out and do a big hit on the enemy when you're hurt yourself, like sort of like a cornered animal kind of thing. But the more you hit others, the more you get in the zone, and the more sort of like, I haven't worked out exactly, but there will be sort of benefits to being either stressed or inspired. That's what I'm calling right now. We've got 2 golems fighting each other, and you notice that they have different heads. So other enemies have different head types as well. Also notice different music track. There's different music for different arenas. One for each arena. And of course a nice parallax background. Wow, 1 hit. Well, we won 1 battle and lost 3. Great. Alright, so there you have it. That's a little taste of the gameplay in Swords and Sandals. That's just the combat, and there is so much more to the combat that is coming, which if you've played previous Swords and Sandals, you know there's all these different skills and abilities, whirlwinds and fireballs, dual wielding is coming, 2-handed weapons, ranged weapons, guns and bows and sonic weapons. That's just a hint of it, and I'm really excited to sort of show you more in the coming months. It's nice to be able to finally show off some gameplay footage. I also now want to talk to you about Patreon. As you know, I am a solo developer working on this full time. My income comes from making Sword and Sandals games, and I rely on them selling. But in part, I also rely on Patreon, and I want to thank these people for helping me just breathe a little easier, with a family and so on. It's wonderful to have the enthusiasm and support from the community, and especially these Patreon supporters, who I'm going to give a shout out to now. Jandiku Chahanahi, Noah Gudajan, Nico, XUp Omega, Ilya Gudovic, John Stayscal, Jeffro of Hex 3D, Daniel Funches, Chris Lopez, welcome my friend, Davi, Plato 34, Bardi X, Michael Loda, Jack, Yunus Yalo, and Hopeless. Thanks everybody, and I thank you, and the Armorer thanks you as always. If you would like to be a Patreon, that would make my day. He doesn't actually talk like that. He's probably have a much cooler voice than that. And so next week I'm going to be working on actually dual wielding, as I mentioned to you guys. The dual wielding is a big part of the warrior class, and it's something that you'll earn when you have enough talent points. But it's quite complicated to program, and I've got to work out how it's all going to work, because I remember it being really tricky in Sword and Sandals 3. So far it's been tricky, and I've got extra special animations for it, that kind of thing. All right, I want to show you, if you haven't seen it, the Immortals trailer. So let's quickly cut to that. Now, of course, you can wish list this on Steam. The link is in the description below. Your wish list really help sort of bring attention to this game. And although I'm not planning on releasing it until April or May, maybe even May next year, we really want to try and build up as many wish lists as possible. And so far, the result has been the response has been really positive, and there is interest growing. So you're helping. Thank you so much. Finally, you know the drill. If you're enjoying the channel, like and subscribe. Also, if you're a fan of Lost Relic games and John Stayscale's channel, I did a big just a chat with him last weekend. We had a beer and talked game dev and so on. So go over to Lost Relic Games channel. Actually, probably in a few days or something like that, the video will be up. I'll do a shout out on Twitter and Discord. And it's basically just me and him talking games and game dev and stuff. So if you want to hang out and learn a little bit more about behind the scenes of game dev, it's a good video to watch, and I really enjoyed making that, and I'll do some more of those. I think that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been fun to make, and I better get on with a bit more game dev and get this combat a little tightened up, because even just playing that right now, there's things that I know I need to address straight away, and others that will come later on. I'm looking forward to showing you more in the future. Let me know in the comments below what you think too, because I love your feedback, and I do read it all, and a lot of it goes in to the notes and go, yeah, I do need to change that. Oh, this should be fixed, or yeah, that doesn't look as good as it could, that kind of thing. All right, my friends, until next time, bye for now.